the 25th, 2019. I'm Ben. Hi. And who do I have with me? My good friend, Tone Guru. He can set up a guitar like nobody's business. Sean, the man Silas in the house.
What's up, Dan? How you doing, man?
Doing great. Doing great. You know, I don't think we've talked much since Winter NAMM.
Yeah, it's been what, 8 months or 9 months, 10 months?
7 months, because it's 5 months until Winter NAMM.
Okay, that's right.
Not that I'm counting down the days or anything.
Yeah, it's like a blur almost sometimes, right?
It is. Especially I did Summer NAMM this year too. So then it's like, hey, did that happen at the winter event or the summer event? You know, you're talking to people and touching base with people, which was kind of cool seeing people for the second time and stuff like that.
Yes. I was going to ask you about that when you were on Facebook a couple times, and I keep forgetting to ask you, but how was it? Was it fun?
It was awesome. You know, the show obviously much smaller. You can see everything in 3 or 4 hours, but then that's cool because then you got the rest of the time to just hang out, chill. You know, I shot a few videos with some friends and stuff like that, but it was funny because none of the large YouTubers that were there were shooting video. They were just hanging out too. So way more laid back. You know, you're not fighting through 3 people to get to look at a product. You know, you can actually play the gear.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, it's tell you, the NAMM out here is like, you know, just a bunch of people, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. You just most people that have gone, I know, just shake your head. You're just like, NAMM. Yeah. 4 days of chaos.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Let's see who we got in the chat here. Man, it's flying already. We have, scrolling up to the top, first in the chat was my lovely sister, Amanda. Good to see you. Hi, Amanda. She was over here earlier today. We got Little Roadie Guitar, Joe Hervey 84, Pete Hickson tuning in from down under, Phil Mosley Music out of the UK, the Dog Pot, I believe it more in your neck of the woods, Bam Ozzy in the UK as well.
Cool.
Going down.
Over the pond.
Got My Knees Hurt. There's Upside Down. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? There's Brad Miller. Sorry if I miss you folks. Type again while I'm still scrolling. Ben Henry. Great name.
Cool.
We've got Lawrence Petross in the house. Pedal builder to the stars. Well, we hope. Anyways. Check out his stuff, folks. Amazing. Amazing pedals.
Cool.
And let's see. Oh, dear Lord. Quentin James is here. Driddle's here. Good to see you, man.
Cool. Oh. Thank you.
Tom Santiago. Robbie Johnson. Jesus. Timothy Pierce. Jimmy Biter.
Cool.
Gussie Wells. Islander Winder. And I think I'm caught up.
Cool.
Billy J-Man. Thanks all for stopping in. Leave a thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe. Just notice I'm 2 subscribers away from 1350.
Yeah.
I like those round numbers.
Oh, here we go. I don't know if I could get it on there. There we go. I'm afraid to hit the key, but then that's the other computer, so I can hit the keys.
There we go.
It's like the laptop.
Hey, Sean. Zimmerman, that is.
Oh, what's up? What's up, Z?
That's right. That's right.
Well, this is awesome.
Yeah, so you've been doing a variety of things in 2019. Well, actually, I'll say you started in 2018 and just progressed into 2019, a variety of endeavors and this and that. And then you got the band going on. And
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. The last 7 months, you know, I mean, like everything was taking off with Ryatt, which has been taking off for the last 2 years, and just keep on going and going and going, and you know, building up. And you know, we did the tour in November. It was quick. It was like a 10-day tour. We were gone. Actually, it was 9 shows in 10 days.
Right.
So we had like a day to drive back home, you know, after the show in Dallas, and the whole experience of going out that way is it's awesome. You know, we have a great time, and we're going back out soon. It's coming up again, and but we've been in the studio. The last thing, I don't know if we talked about it, but we were getting ready to release. Oh, actually, we did the Lock 11,
right,
which was our second EP.
Right.
And that's when we talked about the band stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say the last time you were on was right before you went on the last tour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so we've actually, the Ryatt stuff we actually released it was Willow. Almost said Wait, because Wait's coming up. There's another single coming out called Wait.
Okay.
But the last single was it was the Willow, and it was more of the industrial, like Rob Zombie
Right.
style.
Yep. Yeah, I remember.
And Wait is it's a big surprise. I can't tell you guys what it's about yet until you guys hear it. So, but it's going to be a surprise. Big surprise.
We gotta flash this comment up on the screen here. Fabulous Disaster says Ryatt kicks ass big time.
Oh, thank you, Fabulous. You're fabulous for saying that, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, we have such a great time, and we just got out of the studio 2 weeks ago, and we did our third EP. And that album is based off. Well, it's more based off of like from where I came from and from where Rob came from, which is our town here and where I'm at now in Riverside or California, Southern California.
Right.
Vibe. Yeah, from the 80s kind of vibe. So so we have that style that's kind of mixed in from the next 5 songs that's coming out after Wait, which is coming out about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, something like that.
Okay. Well, it was funny. Well, we know like guitar players aren't the smartest breed of people, we'll say. So I'm sitting here on Monday and I'm like, I don't have a guest for this Sunday. And I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I'm seeing, oh, Sean was in the recording studio, and I follow all your stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, oh, Sean's going out on tour. Huh, cool. Hey, you know what? Probably be cool if we had a guy on that just recorded an album is going to go on tour. Might want to let a few of the folks. Maybe we have some folks tuning in from the areas that you may be hitting. So
yes,
I'm able to put 2 and 2 together, and here we are.
Thank you, man. Perfect timing, man. The timing's just right.
The timing was right, and it was funny because I think I messaged you, and you messaged me back like almost right away. And you're like, "Yeah, man." I'm like, "Boom, done." And I was texting with a buddy as well, and it was literally we hadn't talked in about an hour, and he's like, "Do you have anybody?" No. An hour later, oh yeah, it's taken care of. Huh? What happened?
Dude, I was totally honored. Like when I saw it, I saw the message. I'm like, of course, and the timing is perfect because I just got done doing all that stuff with Ryatt, and I mean, things are kind of crazy still because I still have to work like the day job thing, which that pretty much changed in the last 6 months. Of course, I was doing the photography thing, and all that, and I'm still doing that stuff. But I got back into one of my other passions, which is doing special effects for theme parks and for movies and for private things, And my buddy that I've known, Bob Watson, he's the owner of the company that I work for. I did some 3D eyes for him for these characters, this top secret thing for these characters for this ride, this dark ride, and I went ahead and did the work, and then he needed some help because his son was gone away, and he goes, "Man, can you work for a couple of days?" I'm like, "Sure." I'm not doing anything else. I have a couple of real estate jobs that I needed to take care of with my drone stuff, and I was like, "Well, sure." It's cool to jump back in there again, and sure enough, when I got there, I was like, "Wow, it's great to be back." Building,
right?
Hands on deck kind of thing. And he goes, "Man, would you like to be a part of this project that could last for a year or two?" I'm like, "I'd love to." So it's been nonstop.
I see we have the lovely Sasha George in here.
Oh, Sasha, yes. Thank you, Sasha.
Which we connected on Facebook after I borrowed her photo of you for the thumbnail for the show.
Yes.
I was just like, "Are you cool with that?" She's like, "Yes." I was like, "Thanks," because it was a great photo, and I'm like, "That's perfect." And put the text down the side. And...
Cool. Yeah, Sasha's doing some work for us for the band. She's doing a lot of the photography, which you've seen, and she's doing our next video as well for Wait, and she did Willow for that single. It's like a lyric type video, and she's going to be a part of my solo project that I'm doing all at the same time with everything else. Hopefully that would be out in by NAMM. I'm hoping, and she's gonna be one song, and I have Jay Smith is going to be playing drums on that, and he played drums with our 11 band that I was in for Ryatt.
Okay.
Amazing double bass, crazy stuff.
Nice.
And Alan Bostwick will be playing bass, and it's going to be like a full-blown theatrical instrumental deal, like a Jason Becker mix with Slipknot, mixed with Queensryche, with the concept vibe, you know, and yeah, it's going to be like a
that's
bunch
not ambitious at all, dude. Not even a little.
Yeah, I was actually scared to write stuff like that because everything I do with Ryatt and everything is for me from the heart, and it's a way for me to relax, and if I need to bust loose, I can just do it, and I don't have to be on it all the time. But I can't that solo album that's out there, that's SOTL, Silas of the Lambs thing, and I have the technology now to do it all, and take it to the studio and all that stuff.
I agree. And welcome to all that are joining in late here. And Driddle, you are lovely as well. Driddle was a little ticked. I didn't refer to him as lovely. So.
That's cool.
But welcome that are joining in. We got a bunch of people in here already. So if you have any questions for either of us, post away, tag me, and we'll ask away on that. I did see, do you know off the top of your head what cities you'll be hitting on your next tour?
Yeah, well, I do. And I thought about writing everything down because I just got the tour deal,
Sure.
It's going to be we're going to be mainly hitting Arizona. I think there's a couple shows there. We're going to Oklahoma and to Texas, those 3 states. We wish we could go more up north, like to Colorado where Michael Smith is, and then more on the East Coast side, but we are really trying that. We're just waiting for the right time, for the right promoter to pick us up and for us to do those kind of gigs.
I totally get that.
Yeah. So I know for sure we're going to Houston and everything else that's in between there. So I have to look at it. I'm sorry, guys. I should know it by heart because there's probably about 9 dates I've been there already that we played there at least twice, and they've all been great people. I love Texas, great place to play.
Sure.
But we need to branch out more, and if there's any promoters out there that want Ryatt to play, just contact us.
Exactly.
Charles,
Yeah. Sean Zimmerman asks, what tunings do you prefer to write in?
Well, currently now, when I'm doing my solo stuff, I'm writing in D.
Okay.
Yeah, from Hour 11. I think I wrote in C sharp in that band for a couple songs, and then we were B standard for the rest of the songs for that band. And then when I joined up with Ryatt, we are in E flat. Okay. So we're like in between right there.
Interesting. There we go. BC Rich 581, good to see you, buddy. Sean, when you're getting ready for a tour, do you try a full run through beginning to end with all your gear, or is that really excessive?
Yes. Actually, we have maybe a couple of rehearsals before we leave. So, and we'll play the set from start to finish. And I'll go through my stuff. I just recently got the Kemper, and I replaced. I know it's kind of taboo to say this, but I had to replace my EVH, because it's been on 3 other tours, and I needed to get it retubed, because it was starting to lose a little bit of that gain, Okay. But I was like, well, I can still do that, but I kind of need something else that's lighter, that I could try to get rid of a piece of the rack, and just have one rack instead of two.
Right.
So when I got, when I got the Kemper, I had a couple of friends of mine from Nashville that I've known for a long time. They had some profiles, some EVH 5150 profiles from the 50 watt and from the 125 or the 100 watt. And I pretty much dialed it in. I mean, even down to the effects, because I like to play with a lot of reverb and like the ambient thing.
Sure.
It's amazing, So we, so I pretty much go through all my stuff before we leave, and with this thing, there's less things to to really go wrong. I had a thing happen to me on the last tour, and I understand why guitar players and bass players have two of each.
Right.
Because what happened was we were almost to Houston. Well, actually, we were in Houston, and we got there, and we had maybe a half hour to play, and I was setting everything up just like normal, and I went to turn on the power, the standby, and it wouldn't come on. Like there was no light. I'm like, uh-oh, what happened?
Geez.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I went to the back with my flashlight, and I saw that the fuse popped itself out.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. And the sound guy was like, okay, we need the guitar now. And I'm like, I don't have no guitar yet. And then he kind of had an attitude, like he was waiting for me. So I was like, okay, don't let that get to me right now. And I told Rob, I go, Rob, there's nothing. I have nothing. He goes, what's wrong? It's the fuse. The fuse is gone. He goes, I think it was Charles or Rob. They're like, well, go in the van and see if it's on the floor. And it's like, from here, from Houston and from the show before Houston, we drove 600 miles or something.
Right.
And we stopped at least 2 or 3 times. And I'm thinking, there's no way that fuse is going to be in that van. So I had some faith, and I went in there. It was pitch dark, and I had my phone, and I'm looking on the floor, and sure enough, it rolled off the step down into this little crack in the van right next to the sliding door.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it, dude. So I grabbed it. I go running back in there. I go, Rob, I found it. He's like, all right. Then I put it in there. I got the sound, and we went right into the first song. I checked it. He was like, all right, good, and I went and played.
Wow.
It was a perfect show, too. We played everything perfectly.
No, probably because your mind was on other stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I decided I was going to either buy another 50 watt, the EVH head, or get something else. And my buddy, he turned me on. Well, actually, 2 of my friends, they turned me on with the Kemper deal, and I was like, it's a lot of money and stuff, but you know what? I'll dive in there and check it out, and I cannot believe it. It's my exact sound, and I got the powered version, so I played through the Dr. Jekyll cab,
right?
So it's cool, man. Sorry I went on that long tangent.
No, quite all right. Jamal was asking, are there any links to your music that he can check out?
Yeah, for the Ryatt stuff, we're on iTunes. We're everywhere. You can go to Spotify. You can go to Ryatt. I think it's ryattband.com or ryattmusic.com. It's one of those two. And you can get our music there. If you want to go and check out my solo stuff, I'm all over. You could go to reverbnation.com and just type in my name, and I have music there for days.
There we go. Nice. JP Page 2 says Kempers make sense for a tour like yours. Do what you need to do to take your music out on the road.
Thank you, JP.
And somebody also mentioned good idea to make backups of your amp profiles as well.
Oh yes, that's a great idea. Actually, I probably should do that tonight because I dialed in the last album on it, and I don't think I have a back. Well, I do have a backup on the PC, but I need to have that thing on a flash drive and put it in my drawer.
Yeah,
just in case.
Phil Mosley, thank you. He just posted ryattmusic.com in the chat, so everyone should check that out.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Let's see here. There's my good friend, Metalhead Hippie. He says, Sean, seems like your band has a stoner vibe.
Oh, yeah. That's probably because of me, but it's more Rob. I like the ambient stuff. I'm very, very dark and, I like the soundtrack stuff, but like in the metal world,
Right.
And Rob, he's very, his style is very stonerish, it's very, he's going to love me for saying that. But
you guys are from California.
Yeah, it's legal here.
Exactly. Hey, it's legal nationwide here. So we get it. You'd be huge in Canada.
Yeah, for sure. We need to go up there. I mean, like we need to get out, but we're trying. We're trying.
It's one step at a time. It ain't easy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget how many people I've heard over the years, like they'll say they'll win the Grammy for New Artist of the Year, and they're like, yep, I'm one of those 18-year overnight successes.
Man. Speaking of the Grammys, and I hope I don't step on any toes out there, but I love Seven Dust, and they finally got in there, and I guess the band Ghost won it last year or something.
Right.
And I never heard of them, but I guess they're huge, and I didn't know anything about them. And then when I saw that Seven Dust didn't get it, and I think it was that other band. They're really cool. Can't remember their name. But yeah, I was like, who is Ghost? What is this? And I see them, I'm like, wow. It's cool because I'm all into the Marilyn Manson thing, and I love the whole thing with goth and stuff, but I never heard of them. It was a trip.
Right.
So, but anyways,
hey, there's Absolute Mayhem. Good to see you. Congrats on the new guitar, buddy. He just got himself a Squire Jim Root Telecaster today.
Nice.
I brought it over here for a test drive, and I checked it out.
Cool.
We were surprised it did not have active pickups in it. They look like EMGs, but they're actually passive pickups with like EMG covers on them. Without the EMG logo, of course.
Wow.
Yeah. And a heavy guitar, even though it's got the belly cut, it's a mahogany body, so it's got some weight to it.
Yeah. Well, that's odd.
That's a good question, Timothy Pierce. And good to see you, buddy. Haven't seen you in a while. I know you've been busy.
Hey, Tim.
He says, what guitars do you take on the road? Yes, us Riverside / Moreno Valley guys need to stick together.
Yes. He's from Mo Valley, too, and Riverside on the IE. Well, okay. Currently, I'm playing Deane. I'm playing Deane guitars. They totally hooked me up with the Stealth V, which has the EMGs, and it's a Tune-o-matic. And I play that. Like that's the first guitar I play on the tour. The first two songs, and then and now I replaced it's the metal front as a Midas guitar. Mm-hmm. I sold it. And that's a long story. I'll tell you about that later.
Yeah, I saw you sold that.
Yeah, it was totally worth the cost. I've known him forever since he was a kid, and he plays for Green Jello. He plays the guitar for those guys. So,
right.
Yeah.
Which, ironically enough, somebody shared one of their songs in my Facebook group today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Small world.
It all comes around. Yeah.
Yeah, totally does. So what? I replaced that guitar with the MG24, which it's like the Jackson Soloist. It's not neck through. It's bolt on. I was talking to Chris Cannell about it, and actually when I saw him play in LA while he was on tour, The Sight. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yep.
Yeah, they're awesome band. He's awesome. He's shredding, and then I saw that guitar he's playing. I'm like, I want that guitar when he's up playing, because he's just. Because we have this similar style as far as shredding goes. So I went ahead and ordered one of those. I modified it. I put the kill switch engage Fishman pickups in it.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Nice.
And I have the two-tone block. Oh, thank you, Adam. Adam.
We love Adam. Adam's a good friend of the channel.
Yes. And I did the stainless steel screws and stuff. And
right.
You know what? Ben, I was thinking about this, this morning. I think I may go with the FU tone Floyd type bridge.
Yeah.
Because I'm not too happy with this Floyd. I mean, it works.
Right.
And I mean, but then when I'm really doing really fine, like vibrato, I mean, people do it this way, and I like doing both.
Sure.
But when I'm doing this, I feel a little bit of play, even though I tighten it real tight.
Right.
There's still a little bit of a
right, and it's got to be just. I agree.
Like Brad Gillis.
And I always tell Adam, you don't have tone unless you have FU tone.
Yes. So that's the last thing. Well, that's not the last thing that I need to get for my guitars from Adam, but that's the next thing that I need to get before I leave. Sure. So I'll have to contact them.
And we are 25 minutes in, and I meant to do this 10 minutes in, but just before I forget, don't forget, folks, tonight is the last night you can enter to win the Mag Slide Guitar Slide. Contest ends at midnight Eastern. There it is. Well, this one's mine. Cool. Still in the box. And you got to put up a 1 minute or longer video. You don't actually have to play slide in the video, but just tell me why you want this slide.
That's cool.
And send me a link to the video. I'll check it out. I'll enter you in the contest. And we're going to announce the winner tomorrow night on Canucks with Guitar Show.
Cool. I'll have to check that out and see who wins that. That's cool.
Yes. So, yes. Just while I thought of it, I'm like, hey, we got like 55 people watching. Hey, you know what? Let's plug the contest.
Cool.
So let's see. Yeah. So those Deans have been holding up pretty good.
Yes. They're solid. I played the MG on the last deal, the last studio thing with Ryatt. And I loved it. Solid. I had no problems with it. I mean, of course, from all the experience that I've gone through with Fender and Jackson, I had to redo everything because that's just who I am, what I do, you know. So
I expect nothing less.
And it was funny because my friends were like, "So you're gonna tear that apart?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's I probably don't really need to, but that's just something I do." Yeah. But when I was putting in the on the Fishman pickups, I did have to take my Dremel and route it out just a little bigger for it to fit in there.
Okay.
So that was a challenge because I didn't have my big huge router. I had a little tiny Dremel.
Sure.
So that was a challenge.
Brad Miller says, tell Sean the Dean Custom Shop is here in Tampa and the tech there is the best. He is always doing the FU tone stuff.
Cool. Right on. Yeah, when I get the custom shop ones, hopefully soon, I'd love to have him set up my guitars and get some really nice USA Deans. Right
on. And good to see we got Craig Guitar Wannabe in here.
Cool.
I got to get in touch with you, Craig. We got to get you on sometime, buddy. I keep meaning to, but it's only times like this that I think of it and then I forget by the time I'm off air. Hit me up with a free Sunday, buddy. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. Well, thanks, Metalhead Hippie. Jeez Louise. Thank you very much. He says, next time you're in the guitar shop, rip that telly and buy a kid a pack of strings on me. Will do, buddy.
That's awesome.
I think I shall do that. Yes. I like that idea. It's going to freak somebody out, but I like it.
That's like when I was in the drive-thru for Starbucks. I get to the front to pay, and they were saying, "Oh no, the card that was in front of you, it said it's on them." I'm like, "Oh wow, that totally made my day."
Yep.
I was in traffic for about 3 or 4 hours. 3 hours.
Right.
And I was like, getting sleepy, and they told me that it's like, wow, there are some nice people in the world,
right,
that do nice things.
I've had it happen a couple of times here. Oh, JP Page has to head out. See you, man.
Cool. Take care, JP.
Hank Hill was asking if you're still involved with Bourne's Pots at all.
Yeah, as far as I know, they were supposed to, get in contact with me about some things. I was hoping that they were going to come out with a tone pot to match the volume pot that I've had out for 3 years.
Right.
So hopefully before this NAMM, things are starting to pick up with that. As far as with the NAMM show coming up, they usually contact me in September. So I think that's where I'm going to have some meetings with them and see what's up. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up because, you know, I keep forgetting. I got so many things going on. And
I have one of those in my Kramer.
Oh, yes. I remember seeing the video, and thank you for doing that.
Love it.
It's rad. Thank you.
And it's what I prefer is the higher friction than the low friction because I'm not playing cathedral, and I like it to be up and stay up, and that's it. You know.
Yeah. I want to hopefully I get Borns to make like the EMG type on 250Ks instead of 500.
Right.
So I can put them in these Deans because I'm running all the active pickups.
And 250 be nice for us telly guys too.
Yes, for sure. I had a few guys at NAMM ask about that, so I'm gonna put that bug in their ear so they could make that happen.
I like it. Timothy Pierce says, "Yeah, pickup swaps are always fun. I had to do the same thing when I installed EMGs on my Rand. Really missed that guitar."
Yeah, it's crazy. It took me like 5 hours because I didn't want to, like, you know how you have like the straight edge like inside the route.
Yep.
The pickup, like I didn't want it to look all weird, you know, for me using a Dremel, so I had to just find that sweet spot, you know, so everything looks straight.
Yep.
So that's what took the longest, was making sure it was.
Brad Miller saying the Dean Tech is on Instagram under Airborne 5150.
Okay, cool.
Very cool. Give him a follow and tell him that Brad Miller sent you.
Awesome. I will do that for sure.
Sasha says, "Great interview so far." Well, thank you, Sasha.
Thanks, Sasha.
I keep saying Sasha and not Sasha because I have a cousin named Sasha. So,
that's cool. Yeah, she's very talented. She's, you know, she has some children books out. They're amazing, and she also has this series of, you know, vampire books, which is, it's awesome. Hold on 1 second. Can I plug her in just 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay.
How's everyone doing?
Here, I'll just show you one of them. Or actually, I have a whole stack of them back to read. Yeah.
You mean read again? You've read them all already.
I'm halfway through this one.
Okay.
But yeah, if you guys could check her out, man, she's an amazing writer, you know, and she really puts her heart and soul into her whole writing thing. And the band hired her to do our videos and, you know, photography and stuff, which is really nice. I don't have to worry too much about that part, you know, like that world.
Let's see here. 6-string Stanger says, "I have a Schecter Sun Valley, going to swap out the retro 70s EMG in the bridge to an 81. The 70s are hard to get along with, in my opinion."
Oh.
I guess it depends on what sound you're going for, right?
Yeah. So what year did those come out? The 70s, the 70 EMGs. Just curious.
That's a good question.
You know, I found an old 81 that I had from 1985. It was actually,
I was going to say my EMGs are from about the same time frame, and that's the telly set that you never see around. So
that's a trip.
Yeah. And only one guy is I think I saw one guy still touring with them in his door, and it's like the second guitar player for Nickelback. So I don't bring it up very often.
Poor Nickelback. Those guys. But they did do a really cool cover of Sad But True. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
I was tripping. But they only played like the intro and the verse. That was it.
Okay. He says, like within the last year, the retro 70s came out.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking, because that probably happened right after I left Fender, because I did some really cool, I think it was a Flying V. It was a Jackson Flying V that had some chrome EMGs in it. I'm not sure if they were the 70s or something. It sounds so familiar, and I thought it was weird because I never seen like 70s version of EMGs. Right. It's always been the 81s or 85s. And all the other ones, and the Marty Friedmans.
When my dad installed them on the telly, he said he was just sick of playing in bars with bad ground and, playing at stage volume with a telly into a clean amp. He's like, he was told they were quiet. So Mayhem is asking, what venue are you most excited to play your new album at? I bet all of them, but is there one that's special or close to your heart?
Off the new album?
Yeah, so coming up on tour, any place that stands out where you look forward to bringing out the album? Maybe you had a great reception to the last album there, and you're like, oh, if they like that, they're going to love this.
In Houston, that place, big stage. How can I forget the name of the place, dude? I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm thinking, and we've got a guy from Houston in the chat too.
Yeah, okay. It's in downtown, and it's like in the old part of downtown Houston, and they have a really cool painting on the wall outside. It's a mirror of a TV from the 50s. Deep Ellum.
There we go.
I remembered it right there from the TV. On that place, and off the new album, Atlas. And that's all I can say, because they told me not to share the music or anything like that, but I can tell you the name, hopefully, and that's Atlas.
Well, if not, send Robert my way, and I'll talk to the guy.
Okay, thank you.
Don't say I dragged it out of you, Wow, chat's flying.
But off of Lock 11, which is the last album, which is Lock 11, which is not even anything shredding, it's just the way how it sounds. I love the way all the effects I use on that. And off the first album, on Pills for Free, and of course Monday Morning. But I don't think we're gonna play like any of the songs on this next tour, as far as I know.
Interesting. And let's see, someone, Metalhead Hippie said, our good friend Quentin James in the chat here is $85 away from his goal for his GoFundMe. He's had some issues, and if you want to help contribute, get him back on his feet, folks, I just posted the link in the chat.
I will go back. Yes, I will go back and support, man, for sure.
And Robert Metzenberg was asking, boom, there it is. Who are your major influences when you first started learning guitar?
Of course, Randy Rhoads was, of course, on second. He was actually on the second guitar player. The first guitar player was actually Ace Frehley from Kiss. And,
yes.
I really didn't really play guitar. I played like the tennis racket type guitar,
right,
with the flares and stuff when he did his solo. But when I got into actually playing guitar when I was 16 or 17, I was really into Ozzy, and I was like, "Who is this guitar player?" Off of Diary of a Madman, and then when I started really getting into him, and of course Van Halen, Eddie was killing it. But when I was racing BMX, I used to listen in my Walkman when I would race, before like the main events and all that. And he would always, every time I would hear, actually right before the main, I would listen to SATO. I love the way how he's shredding on that, the way how it starts out and everything with the acoustic, and then, he does all that cool stuff. It was such an influence, and then he dies, and that's what my dad told me. He takes me to the park. He goes, "Son, I hate to tell you this, but Randy Rhoads passed away." And then I was like, "Wow, well, Dad, I really want to play guitar, And he goes, "All right." So him and my parents got me a Strat knockoff, and then Brad Gillis came in, and took over, right? And they did the broadcast at the Long Beach Arena. It was called something else back then, but my friend had a tape deck. He was able to record that show, and he goes, "I know you love Randy Rhoads, and it's not Rhoads, but it's Brad Gillis." I'm like, "Who's Brad Gillis?" And so he hands me the tape, and then I was like, "Wow!" And Brad Gillis playing through his Mesa Boogie, and he had the old Floyd Rose with no fine tuners on it.
Yeah, one of the original ones.
Yeah. and then that's when it all really started to take off, you know. But yeah, it's Rhodes and Eddie Van Halen, Warren D Martini from Rat,
Sure.
Steve Vai, Marty Friedman, Jason Becker, a lot of those guitar players, all the ones I could think of. Oh, the Edge from U2,
Sure.
So there's a bunch of other ones, but I can't think of all.
So a lot of the usual suspects.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you. Take a bit from each. Sure. Good question. BC Rich 581. Is there one aspect of your playing that you think really isn't where you'd like it to be, or how? Let's see. And how do you try to work on it to get it better?
Well, now with today's age, with YouTube and people that are doing some stuff on YouTube, guitar stuff. I've been wanting to perfect more of the right hand, the whole speed picking thing going along with this, even though I do not as much as that. But when I have that dialed in, like everything else it's cake, I mean, usually
Right.
I'll warm up to that stuff like on tour when I'm on the road, like in the hotel or whatever, I'll listen to Becker or whoever practicing scales or whatever, and it's like I'm not gonna play anything like that when I'm on the stage, but I may sneak it in just here and there, maybe just a quick arpeggio or something. But but yeah, YouTube is probably the best place, for me to keep my chops up. See kids out there are 9 or 10 years old doing.
Oh, forget about it. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. My Knees Hurt asks, what was the first song you could play all the way through?
Oh, Children of the Grave.
Nice.
But the Brad Gillis version.
Nicer.
The live version. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hank Hill is asking who your favorite YouTube guitarist is.
YouTube guitarist. I actually bought some of his profiles. Rehab or a Rab Sabi or something. I can't.
Rabia Masad.
Yes, thank you, Ben. Bless you.
UK.
Thank you for. Yes, I love his afro. Yep. I love his style. I love everything about that guy.
Worst case, you call him Bia or the Fro.
Oh, okay, the Fro. Yep. Yes, he's a man. I mean, there's a bunch of other guys on there, but yeah, he's the guy that you like to watch and learn some technique.
Right on. Sure. Yeah, I love it. Like, that guy's awesome. Yeah. BC Rich is enjoying this stream. Good.
Cool.
We're always have fun together. Joe Hervey was asking, he's like, you still good to go? He was asking me in Pete Thorne's chat earlier. I'm like, oh yeah, we're good, for tonight's show. Okay. He's like, how do you think it'll go? I'm like, oh, Sean and I, we've had many a conversation. It'll be fun.
Yes, perfect. It's always fun, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
It was funny when I was looking for a photo. One of the reasons I take so many selfies at NAMM events is they turn into great thumbnails later on.
Oh,
and the only photo I had was the two of us was kind of blurry. So I was like, oh, can't use that one. And then there was that amazing group photo of like 10 of us. And it was just like, that wasn't even planned. That was literally, we all just kind of turned corners and we're like, hey, everybody.
That was so bizarre, Ben. I was tripping on that because I had my camera stuff and I was looking at other things. And then I looked to the right and there you guys were. It was like you guys just appeared right there. And it wasn't just one or two of you guys. It was like a whole 6 or 7 or 8.
Yeah. And then Gerd came from another direction. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, we've got like 4 countries represented here.
Totally.
If that isn't what NAMM's all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Pierce says, Ben and Sean, check out Sammy Bowler. Awesome player. I love Sammy's work.
Okay.
Actually, Sammy and I are friends. We became friends. I had a nice long chat with him at Winter NAMM.
Okay.
And he was doing an event here north of Toronto where Friedman had a booth, similar to Sweetwater's Gear Fest idea. Same idea, but obviously much smaller because it's Canada.
Yeah.
And I walk up. Of course, Dave Friedman doesn't remember me, which, that's fine, And then Sammy's like, "Hey, Ben," I was like, "Holy crap, you remember me?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're Canadian." I'm like, "I am. That's why I'm at this event." And then we're talking. And we did an interview together. It was great. Cool. There's my good buddy Mark in the chat. Good to see you, sir.
Cool. Wow, what's his last name?
Bowler. Boller. Sammy Bowler.
Okay, I wrote it down. So after
he kind of does all the Friedman events. He's kind of their resident, guru. Plays the Les Paul with a Floyd, and we don't hold it against him.
Floyd Rose and Les Paul.
Yep,
that's cool.
Yeah, I have no problem. I figure if the amount of guys that butchered Kahlers onto Les Pauls in the '80s, a Floyd on Les Paul should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Steve Clark. You're a hero, but
that's right. Steve Clark did it too.
That's right. Metalhead Hippie. I'm just waiting for it to come into the internal chat, but I'll ask it anyways. Ask Sean what practice routine he would recommend for an old beginner with sausage fingers. I'm into stoner riffage, hurts less.
Man, dude. Maybe just chords, I guess. I would practice chords. If you want to do scales, just do the basic chromatic scales, from your first fret to your fourth, and then start there on your low E, and then just work your way down like a chromatic thing, and then slide it down to your fourth or fifth fret, and then work your way up, and then go slide it down on top, down, and then just work your way down and go up and down. And I did that for years at Fender when I was testing guitars. It was the most simplest thing, but it really made me feel like I could just, if I was to get lost on the neck, then I pretty much could slide wherever I'm at to know where I'm at in the sense. Right. That makes sense. And plus that'll help you with your and it doesn't hurt that bad because, well, I would try to play on a guitar that's set up really low and all that stuff, so you don't have to press too hard and fight it,
Sure. Yeah, I set up my guitars very fast, low action, and the thinnest strings I can get away with. Just why work at it? Yeah,
I agree on that, and I actually went down a gauge of strings because for the last few tours I was at 11s to 56, tune it half step down,
right?
And I was playing that kind of tuning because I was tuned down to B with my Wolfgangs at the time, and they felt like nines,
right?
So when I joined up with Ryatt with Rob and those guys and Charles, they wanted to go back up in tuning, and I kept the same gauge. And one time I was playing, and it literally hurt my hand. I was like, okay, that's it. I wouldn't even been go all the way up high and been high note 12th.
I remember when in the last band when we went from standard tuning down to E flat, I just went to 9 to 46 instead of 9 to 42.
Yeah, that's a good in betweener.
Yeah,
deal right there.
Yeah, I'd be always in the music store. You got any more of those hybrid 9 sets?
Yeah.
Paul Guitar Music 2 is asking, what's your go-to axe?
My go-to axe?
Yep.
Well, now it's the Dean's, of course, but of course I have my Fender, my Squier, the John 5. Right. It sits there, and I love that guitar. It's highly modified. I got the Wolfgang bridge pickup, and I have the SH2 in the neck, and so it's modified, and I just grab it and tune it real fast. If I need to change my tunings, I can change it real quick.
Right.
And it's ready to go. So
hey, we got Johnny Bean in the chat.
What's up, Johnny?
Hey, we got Alex Bradford in the chat. Man, we got the Bay Area tuning in all at once. I love it.
Cool.
My niece heard is asking what gauge strings. I use 9 through 42 myself now.
Yeah,
I'm going to put a set of 11 to 48 on one guitar that's going to D standard.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and it's also Gibson scale length, so
yeah, that's cool. I think I'm back at 10s now, 10 to 48, no 46. Yeah.
Okay.
which feels great because I'm not at 440 standard D. You know, I'm down below that, so it feels pretty good.
Exactly. I think, yeah, the heaviest I ever used, I used 11 through 48 for a couple of years because I was playing in drop C. So.
Oh, okay. I love drop C, dude.
Yeah. That was back in my heavier days. Yes, we sounded a lot like Godsmack.
Yes.
And now I try to sound like Ronnie Wood.
I love Ronnie Wood too. When I met Mick Thompson from Slipknot, we were building his line of guitars at Jackson, and I was just getting into the Gray Chapter, and that album. I just love that album, you know. But I asked him about his tuning because we all come from the same time era. You know, he knows he came from the 80s and all that stuff. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I think he said that C sharp standard or something like that." I have to look at it again, but I tried it and I loved it, but I never went back to try it on a professional level, I guess, you know, writing.
Right.
Because it's too low for Ryatt, you know, for now, you know. And
sure.
I would have to change a couple guitars, you know, to have that tuning.
Right. No cover charge says, does no one play in standard anymore? I do. Because I don't play with a singer right now.
I kind of do. I'm just a little bit.
Joe Hervey says, Mick is my favorite modern player. OMG.
Oh, who is this?
Joe Hervey 84.
Oh, okay.
Sasha is asking, how many guitars do you have?
Oh, well, I have a couple that I'm borrowing you know, for projects, but I probably got about 7 or 8.
Okay.
I'm not like...
I think with my 2 acoustics, I'm at 14 that are playable because I don't count the unplayable ones.
Yes, I would say I play you know, all mine. Someday I would love to have my own little room. Well, not own your little room, but I would like to have like my man cave, where it's just not just toys and stuff, you know, but just for guitars. And I would like to have like a wall of, well, you know, actually, when the funds are available, I would like to call Fender or call my friends and have them make the Concord, which is the Rhodes, you know, his white one, and get the a Frankenstrat, like the original one from Chip Ellis. Actually, both were from Chip Ellis. The Warren D. Martini, the snakeskin one. I mean, like I want to get all of the different, you know, rock stars that I learned off of as far as playing guitar.
Sure.
You know, but that's like about, or no, it'd probably be like a lot more than that. The Frank Strat's up to 25. If it's that price anymore, it's probably not that now, but
might be more now, you know, because if they're not building them and there's demand for them, right?
Yeah. Well, I know they did.
Look, the Bumblebee is what, like 30 grand?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, not crazy in the bad way. It's just, it's amazing. A
lot of them are, I think, just hung up as pieces of art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I had the large...
He was asking if you like stoner rock, Brant, Bjork, Sleep, Fu Manchu, and the like. Well, you named off a few bands I love.
Fu Manchu.
I love Fu Manchu.
Yeah. I need to check out the first 2. Let's see, I like my version of, you know, stoner rock that I love, really dark. I don't know if it's stoner rock though. It's more like, you know, Pink Floyd, you know, live stuff. You know, to me I feel like that's stoner rock to me.
Right.
You know, but Fu Manchu for sure.
Yep, I definitely dig their stuff. That's the fuzz tone I'm always searching for. You know, the problem is I have such a hard time learning their music by ear because I'm like, I don't know what key that riff is in, but it's cool. I can tell it's a 1-3-5, but I don't know what key.
You know, I don't know if this is on the same line of this subject, but on Netflix they came out with the Woodstock, you know, the documentary on that,
Right?
Woodstock, and that's just a time that I wish I played guitar in. You know.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I agree.
You know, with all the effects not all the effects, but the stuff that they had, you know, that's just what they had. You know, they didn't have all the crazy
effects were just starting to come out, and that was right at the time where it wasn't okay. You have 3 days to record an album in the studio. It's you have 6 months to go write an album in the studio. Where the artists all of a sudden that period where they got to take over and set timetables and to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, with Ryatt, Rob had this idea when we first got together that he wanted to record the band live. And that's what we've done for all of our recordings.
Right.
We would dub the vocals in after we're done. But yeah, as far as the guitar and drums and bass, we're all playing in the same room with the cabinets in different areas of the studio, of course. But I like right next to Charles, and he's playing his drums, and I was totally like, you know, freaking out because I've always been like this multi-track guy since the mid 90s, or no, actually the late 80s, you know, and when he told me that he wanted to do it that way, I was like, man, can I at least do one more guitar on top of this other guitar? He's like, no, I just want to keep it locked. But then he almost budged for me to do it on this last album.
Right.
I was that close, Ben. I was like that close to doing one more guitar track on each song, but he's like, no. The producer's like, he could work with what you got. Everything's cool. I'm like, damn it. But it's all good because I do a lot of my own multi-tracking and I get out of my system here.
Sure.
You know, so it's all good.
Hank Hill is asking, Sean, what was it like to work with Phil Collen from Def Leppard?
Awesome. I have nothing but great things to say about Phil. You know, I mean, every time I see pictures of him, I totally missed him. You know, I haven't seen Phil for over a year now. I seen Helen, his wife. They just had the baby and everything, and she was having this art show that she invited me to go to, and I invited Sasha to go with me because she loves art. And so anyways, I see Phil from her shots from traveling the world and stuff, and I go, I should text Phil and see what's up. But yeah, I totally miss him. He worked on the Power 11 stuff. He did like 3 songs on that, or 2 songs, Struggle and it's Get Up, and he did the vocals on Get Up. Well, the backup vocals along with the guitar solo. So yeah, so when you hear like the Get Up, you hear that Def Leppard sound with him doing his vocals.
Right.
So, but yeah, awesome.
See ya. What's up, Doc? Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Metalhead Hippie has a great question. What are some of your favorite pedals? Fuzz, tube screamer, treble boost, delays, reverbs, multi-effects?
Well, I hate to say this. Well, no, not hate to say it. Well, first, let me just say this. One of the guys at Fender, Cal, he gave me a phaser, a DOD phaser that was from the 70s or something, or the early 80s. And you can actually hear that phaser on Lock 11, the song Lock 11, the title track, and there's no guitar solo. It's right like in the middle where you hear like a swishy sound, like it's like it's going up this hill,
right?
You know? And I just love the analog sound that I was able to get out of that. So I will be using that like in my chain, like going in front of the Kemper, and I love the carbon copy, which I could pretty much mimic that one, but I like having that blue light right there, and I just love that thing. It's all taped up, so those knobs don't move.
Right.
for the song, for Lock 11. That's what I use it for,
Right.
But yeah, I haven't really been that much of a pedal guy up until the last year or two. I've been mostly multi-effects all the way from the SDE 1000 from Roland, ADA, that one, and then through the 90s, I got into on TC Electronics. What is that one? It's the preamp with the multi-effects in it.
Oh,
that's weird. I had two of them. I cannot believe I can't remember the name of it.
Come on, chat, help us out here. It's on the tip of my brain.
It's not the G major, because that's what I used, probably the Kemper, for the effects. Anyways, any of you guys that could think about the name of that processor, it's gonna kill me now.
Moderators are frantically Googling as we speak.
Yeah, it's made by TC Electronics. It's all digital. I think it had tubes for the preamp, but the multi-effects was pretty killer.
Okay.
Very, very.
Music Therapy Les says he's 39 subscribers away from that Veda goal for the camera. Yes, Les says he'll buy a new camera if he hits 100 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to Music Therapy Les. He's putting out some great stuff. He's starting out, and he needs 39 subscribers. So I'm looking at all you fine folks out there.
I will go there too.
Awesome. And Laz had a question as well. Does Sean have a favorite guitar to play on stage? How has that changed over the years, and why?
As far as having someone play on stage with me, playing?
No, like, what's your favorite guitar to play on stage, and has it changed over the years, and if so, why? I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, you know what?
Because I used to play nothing but Les Pauls, and then I switched to Tellys a few years ago.
Yeah, like ever since I worked at Fender, I started to play other guitars, and I think before that I was more or less a Jackson guy. Like my two guitars. Well, from the late '80s, I built a Strat that had like the reverse headstock, because I love George Lynch, so I wanted to have that reverse headstock with the one pickup, and that was a Warmoth build, and I played that guitar from '88 all the way up to '93, and then I got my first Jackson, a real Jackson.
Right.
So I played Jackson all the way up through that, but I also had on WRC, which is the Wayne Charvel and the Bernie, the BC Rich, those two guys got together, and Greg, for his last name, but those guys got together and came up with the Seashell guitar. I love that guitar. I played that guitar all the way up till 2000, along with my Jacksons. And then, I can't really say. I mean, it all depends on the band too, because like this band, I went from playing the Wolfgangs to the Z guitars, which is on some Midas guitars, and I went to Deane, and I love all those guitars. I love them. I mean, I could pick them up, or the Fender Squire, I pick them up and I could play them.
Sure.
So I guess I hate to say this, and I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I feel like a guitar whore. It's not just one brand, it's all different.
Sure. Well, the right tool for the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I played in a heavy band, drop C, where I strictly rhythm. So I played Les Paul. And then as we went into a different band doing covers, I need something to cover a lot of territory. And then I went with a Telly, because I was playing with much lower gain. And, and I grew up playing Tellys originally. Well, I had Telly and Les Paul pretty much since day one. So
yeah, from your pops, man, right? Your dad was this.
Yeah, Dad played Tellys, and then I said I want to get a guitar, and he said, "Okay, well, buy a good guitar, because if you don't stick with playing, at least you can sell it and get your money back." And we found a '72 Les Paul. That was one of the first ads we saw. So I was like, "Okay, let's get it." But they were $500 guitars at the time.
At the time, man, I was hanging out with John Levin. You know, John Levin plays guitar for Dawkins.
Right.
He's like a Les Paul fanatic, and he took me to this place in Santa Monica. He was like, he'll buy them and then he'll sell them, and as far as I know, he was buying and selling them. But man, they were so expensive. I would love to own one. I mean, someday.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I'll get another one someday. I sold it for basically what I paid for it and got a stereo. You know, why? Because nobody played that stuff at the time. Everybody wanted a Kramer or a Jackson or, you know, and then it was literally, because I remember, I think I sold it in 92. So it was within a year. It went up in value by like 10 times.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I think, it was like Joe Perry and Slash were the only Les Paul players at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, they pretty much put that back on the map.
Yep.
But
Metalhead Hippie asks, do you ever go wireless?
Yes, actually, I own one, and I've been wanting to use it for the last few times. Sometimes I get lazy. I just don't want to hook it up or something. I just want to plug in, and because we're usually opening up for some band, and I just want to get up there and do our thing and just get off the stage. I know it's just one thing, but
it is one more thing.
Yeah. When I was in Hour 11 and we played the House of Blues quite a few times, and we played at the Yost Theater when we opened up for Seven Dust, I needed a wireless then because I just had to have one.
Sure.
So I got one, and it was awesome. I was like, it was great, but for some reason, for the last 30 or 40 shows, I just never hooked it up.
Sure.
My
Knees Hurt asks, your favorite Ace solo or song?
It's Fractured Mirror off of his solo.
Nice.
That one, yeah.
Nice.
There's something about that song, dude, right?
That whole album,
The album.
Yeah. It was obvious who was the disgruntled member of that band when they all made the solo albums. Yeah. Because it's like, it was an audition reel in many ways.
Yeah. Yes, he had everything together on that album.
Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely some frustration going on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Phil Mosley saying he may go live later. Man, do you ever sleep, Phil? He's in the UK and he's going to go on after us.
Cool. Are they like 8 hours ahead of us or 9 hours or something?
Yeah, 8 hours ahead of you.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to be up late.
And yet, I can be in a chat during the day tomorrow and he'll be there. So, like I said, I don't know when he sleeps. Between live chats, I guess. I don't know. See you, Soda. Have a good one.
Take care, man.
Let's see here. Brad Miller's mentioned a Metalhead Hippie about some pots.
Cool.
Talking to each other.
Cool.
Okay, Metalhead Hippie just asked the wireless question again.
That's cool.
Sometimes, yes.
I think that's a hint.
He's the Count. Phil Mosley's known as the Count because he never sleeps.
That's funny.
My Knees Hurt says he's checking out Fractured Mirror as we speak.
Yes. And see, Whip It Out's good too. I think that's the first track. But all of it, from start to finish.
Let's see here. The bat logo for Phil makes much more sense now, BC Rich says. Nice. Nice. So is there any new gear that you're going to be taking out on the road for the first time other than the Kemper?
Yes, actually, besides the Kemper, it's the a new guitar, the Deane, the MG24.
Right.
And I think that's about it. I'll probably buy some more patch cores just to be safe on some things, but yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think after I write this last song for my solo deal, my solo project, which I was hoping to have it done today, then I'm gonna go full tilt into the Kemper and make sure all the songs for live are dialed in the guitar, because when I went into the studio, it felt a tad weird. It was nice because it was almost like a Christmas vibe that I got some new stuff in a way, but then I kind of felt a little off because it wasn't the other guitar, it wasn't the EVH head, so I just need to just keep playing it. And I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I could just jump on Dread and it actually like inspires me to play,
Right.
So I just got to get past that other part.
Terry, you're a little late to the party, but that's okay. He says, since you like the John 5 Telly, any interest in the Jim Root Telly or any other Root signature guitar?
I almost got the Jim Root before the John 5 Telly Squire, but if I would have found out that there was no EMGs in there, then that would have been a bummer, because that was the reason why I was going to get the Jim Root, was because of EMG.
Well, the Fender does have the active EMGs. It's the Squire that has the passives that look like actives.
Oh, okay. Then I would have definitely.
I think they're probably the Fender Blacktop pickup, so they're going to put out a good 15K anyways, I'd imagine. Yeah,
that's cool.
That seems to be what they've been using in the more quote-unquote modern models. That's what I have in my Mexican Telly, and they scream.
Cool. Yeah.
Let's see. Joe Hervey asks, thoughts on the modern Jackson Soloist series, say the last 5 years?
Well, they're awesome up until the day I worked there. Just kidding.
That's why I wasn't going to say a word. I'm like, I'll just plant this here. Yeah, you may have been known to may have built one or two of them in your time.
Yeah. It's I've always wanted to own the Soloist, the Jackson Soloist, and I will someday. What's weird? I think when I was set up like the custom shop ones, like with the Dan Lawrence paint jobs or like any of the guys that would do their custom work on it, the Brian Bach paint jobs, then they sound different, they feel different, they feel faster. There's something about it,
Right. And the Jim Root, even the Squire Telly has a 12-inch radius too, which I called because Mayhem holds it up and he's like, dude, this is a flat fretboard. I looked at him like, yeah, that looks like about 12. Just pulling a number out of my ass, and I look it up. It is 12. I'm like, all right. Brad Miller, whoever was asking about Sean's volume pot, Moser Electronics has them in stock. We have the item number there.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
I really need to talk to those guys. They probably wonder what happened to me. I mean, they totally keep up on me because of the whole social media thing, but
right. Well, I remember last time we were talking, there had been some changes at the company too, so we weren't sure what was up with that prior to last name.
Yes, and that was the thing, because the guy that got me in there, Chuck was the man. He totally, I mean, I could get like 25 or 30 people in the NAM. He's like, no problem, do this thing, But the last time, the new management, all that stuff, and they had to move the factory down to Mexico, and they moved like the tooling down there and all that stuff, and that actually stopped my tone pots from getting made because they already started the like the idea on it, and the drafting part of it, but they couldn't put it into production because I told them what I wanted, So
take care, Pete.
See you, Pete. So so all that stuff was happening, and told me to call them was 6-7 months ago, and I haven't. And I've been getting friends, and you guys telling me I need to take care of it.
Sure. Apparently, there is a following, so hey.
They're still doing it.
Metalhead Hippie asks if you like Ministry, and do you know Sin Curran or Tommy Victor?
I don't know Sin Curran or Tommy Victorin. But Ministry, those guys, they've been around. I remember those guys back in the day when I used to go snowboarding a lot, and they were like in a lot of the videos of the snowboard videos I used to watch all the time to get inspired to go snowboarding. But when I worked at Knott's in 93 to 90 or to 2000, they would actually use their music in their rides, their like the rides for the Halloween Haunt thing, and then when like in 93 or 94, like I turned on to them, and I love that band. I love the whole electronic thing. That guy Rod Burns or something. I can't remember his last name, but the way how he would use his electronics, you know, you mix in with that metal thing, you know, and he was similar to Rob Zombie.
Metalhead Hippie saying those guys they play with Ministry now.
Oh, really?
Okay. Interesting.
That's
awesome.
It
was funny because when Rob Zombie hit, you know, and Rob put in a lot of work before he broke big. But when Thunderkiss 65 came out, I looked at him, I said, who's this guy ripping off Al Jorgensen with the long dreads and the cowboy hat?
Yes, Al Jorgensen, that's his name. I guess the drummer was Rod or Rob. I can't, not for sure, but
amazing drummer.
Yeah, the drummer. Yeah, awesome drummer. Yeah, actually, I knew someone. I think someone bought his drum kit. He was selling it or something, and one of my drummer friends, you know, bought his kit or something. But I love Ministry. I love, man. You know,
one of the first recordings you'll ever hear record scratching in. Every Day is Halloween.
Yeah.
And that was like 81, 82.
Yeah.
Yeah. Al's been doing it a while.
Long time. I just recently saw a picture of him. I guess he's teaming up with somebody. I don't know what it was, but he was something that he's doing currently. I don't know if the guys know about it. But anyways, yeah. Yes, Ministry.
Right on.
10 stars.
Keep those questions coming, folks. We'll probably go about another 10 minutes here. I don't want to keep you too late. It's getting to be the dinner hour on the West Coast.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, I was planning on doing some drone flying before it got dark, but
yeah, blame that Canadian.
Well, this is way more important than me flying drones.
We're talking gear. We're selling volume pots.
That's right. I love it, man.
We're pre-planning NAMM. Yes, I plan on seeing you again at NAMM.
Awesome.
So there we go. We pre-planned NAMM.
Yes, and let's try to hang out like after NAMM during the day. Then we'll go out and check out some shows, you know.
Well, it's funny, you know, we did run into each other in line for body count, but I never saw you once we got inside.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Which, oh my God, you know how funny that was after you left? Like, I totally got 10 questions from people because you came up and you're like, hey, Ben, how's it going? And you made a joke about me not being in the VIP line. Well, then you take off to the back of the line and all these people around me are like, well, who's this guy that he's supposed to be on VIP, you know? And I'm like, I'm just some guy from Canada. They're, what? You're from Canada? What's going on? Well, and then they confiscated my wallet chain at security.
Oh, yeah. I hate when they do that. Yeah.
I've never heard of that happening.
Yeah, well, that happened to me two or three times with Def Leppard and you know, Kill Switch Engage, and I had to walk all the way back to my car and get rid of the whole chain thing. But yeah, but that's cool though. But yeah, I talked to Ernie C from Body Count, told him I was there, and he was like, I didn't know you were there. I'm like, yeah, and my friend Joseph, the drummer from Hour 11 was teching for Will, which is a drummer for Body Count.
Right.
So Joseph was trying to get us in there, me and Gerd and Pauline, and it just didn't work out. But Ernie was funny. He was like, man, you should have texted me or something. I definitely could have gotten you in there like that. I go, you know, I don't want to bother you guys like that. You know, either it happens or it doesn't.
Right. And we got in because JJ's wife's sister, her boyfriend was opening the show.
Oh, okay.
So, and he's involved with Deane. I think he might be endorsed by Deane, and that's why they were opening the show. Yeah, it makes sense. They were opening the show.
Yeah, cool.
Let's see here. Sean Zimmerman says, we will watch as long as you're going to be here, Sean. Always one of the best shows when you're on with Ben.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
Appreciate that, buddy.
You know, his name is, every time I see his last name, I think of the composer.
Yep.
That does all the soundtracks and stuff. I think that's such a rad name. Sorry, Sean, I put you on that's a spot right there.
Let's see. We've got here somebody. Timothy Pierce has to head out. See you, Timothy. And yeah, message me that list of appearances from Sammy. So
yes, and Tim, I will look at the messages that you sent me through Messenger. I just haven't a chance to slide over there. I'll check it out after the show.
Joe Hervey says, yeah, dope show tonight. I think that's good with the younger folk. Mayhem says, I agree. Sean is awesome sauce.
Oh, I just get by. I just love guitar, and I love the community of guitar. I wish this was back in the day in the 80s, but like we had like the natural community, which I still am friends with some of the guys from back in the day. A matter of fact, one of the guys, Tony, I can't say his last name, Plasanos, but he's like an amazing guitar player. He plays in Guardian. They're like a Christian metal band back in the day. He's a shredder. He's played like through Nashville, but he sent me like a bunch of profiles to for my Kemper for free. He just gave them to me.
Nice,
because he does sound. He's like an engineer now, and
sure.
Yeah.
Very cool indeed. Let's see here. People are talking about getting into security at shows. Interesting. But yeah, you think back in the day, this would be all of us hanging out at the local music store, annoying the hell out of the employees.
Yeah.
That's the only place
exactly.
you could go to shoot the breeze about guitars and stuff.
Yes. And that's what we did back in the day. I'm still friends with those guys from Lear's Music, which was real popular here in Riverside. Actually my dad, he was a singer in the 70s, and he used to go and buy his mics from them and all their stuff from them, and then I started playing guitar, and I started to hang out there, and they see me grow as a guitar player.
Sure.
And the thing with Borns, oh, I'm sorry. My mother worked for Borns from 1970 or 71, and she retired in 2011 or something, or 12. But I never knew that Borns was like into the industry like that. I thought they just did pots for TVs or whatever it was.
Sure.
I didn't think about guitars or whatever. So I went to the NAMM show in 2012, I think it was. Or no, it was 2010. And I go down to the third level at the very bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And Borns had a booth there, and I saw a couple of Wolfgangs on display, and then they had the tags on them still, and I walked up and I saw my signature on all the setup, the wiring, and all that stuff.
Right.
I was super happy to see that, and the owner, he was standing there. I recognized him because my mom told me about that he may be there or whatever. I just know him. And I go, hey, Gordon, Sean Silas, do you know my mom? She goes, oh, China's. Yes, I know your mom. She's an amazing worker, and she's about to retire. And I go, yeah. And I go, yeah, I built those two guitars over there. I set them up and all that. And he goes, oh, really? So I took a picture with them, and then he goes, well, look, like in the future, we're looking to have some artists do some demos. Would you be interested? I'm like, yeah, heck yeah. So that's how I got in to do some demos for them.
Love it.
Yeah, and then after that, then I asked if they could sponsor or like endorse the band like 3 years or 4 years later. And then that's when Chuck was like, hey, I was thinking about you having your own line of pots. Would you be interested in that instead? I'm like, of course. So that's how that all got started.
Cool. See ya, Guitar Man 45P. Metalhead Hippie asks me, what one guitarist had the greatest influence on you? When did it stick in your head that is what you want to do, play guitar? Well,
yes.
We'll have to go mainly probably with my dad, because I always figured I was going to play. It was at some point. I figured at some point I'd play. My dad, Ace Frehley, and Eddie Van Halen too, because both of those guys always had a smile on their face, it seemed. You watched all the early footage. Eddie's just grinning away while I was playing. I'm like, that looks like fun. I knew my dad was having fun doing it. I didn't know the work involved with it, but I was like, that's what I want to do. And then, of course, it was the summer after 8th grade. I was like, okay, let's get an instrument. Bought a bass, started with that. Then I realized playing bass by yourself in your bedroom is boring. Let's switch to guitar. And then that's when my dad's like, well, I don't play anymore. Here, you can start on my telly till you get a guitar of your own. Okay.
That's
and I just thought of it as an old beater guitar that's rough looking. And he's like, you're not going to wreck it. It's worn out type thing. It served its purpose.
Yes, that's awesome, dude. We all have
30 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, we all pretty much come from the same thing, It's amazing,
Yeah,
awesome.
I always thought it was weird when kids had parents that didn't play music. Like, what do you mean? Your dad doesn't work nights in a band?
Leave on tour.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the hard thing. I like, hands down to your dad, because when I'm gone and my son is asking me, Daddy, when you're coming home, and I'm like, son, I'm far, I'm wherever, and he goes, where is that? And I would draw a circle and I would draw a line and it says Dad on it, and then I shouldn't have done that because it's just, he understands
space,
geographic.
Yeah.
And for me, that was hard for me because I'm like, man, I'm far away from my little boy, So,
right. But that's where we were lucky. Dad was of the, where you would play 3 to 4 nights at the same venue, back in the day. And so he was home, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, guaranteed. Probably would give us dinner on Thursday before hitting the road to go play. And then you just didn't see him until Sunday.
Yeah.
Late Sunday, Sunday afternoon, because he didn't get home until 4 or 5 in the morning.
Wow. It's rough, man.
Yeah. But he would also take me along to band practice, because the other band members have kids. But then the kids would all be playing outside, and I'm like, how does this soundboard work? And I knew how to mix the soundboard when I was 10.
Wow. Because it was built into you, man.
Well, yeah. And it was just like, it's not intimidating. Just look at one row, and he explained, your stereo at home, we have, the 3-band EQ. Yeah, well, that's what this is. And, okay. And they'd start messing with it. And then, halfway through their set, they're like, okay, can you put it back to the way it was? Because this is just jacked right now.
Yeah, I get that way when I'm doing it on my computer. I'm like, I need to take a picture of it because it just scares me to even change a little bit of something.
Right.
It could get crazy. You could just lose it, and then.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's a rabbit hole. Yeah, I've taken I do the same. I take photos of my pedal board all the time, too. Because you just tweak a knob a bit, putting a cable on it or something. You're like, my sound's ruined. What's up? And you've tweaked one pedal just a hair.
Yeah, that one hair makes a difference, man.
Especially with your delay. Especially.
Yes.
Oh
my God. Well, I've been around the whole multi-processors in racks for a long time, and when I got the Kemper, I thought it was going to scare me, but it's really easy. I'm like hands down to that company, the way how they made it. I mean, it has a little bit of a learning curve because you need to get used to how it works as far as getting in there. But after that, it's like it's perfect,
right? Nice.
But yeah, I was scared, dude. I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna get one, but it's gonna take a bit for me to figure it out because I don't want to mess it up,
right?
So
and a lot easier for loading. Easier for loading.
I'm gonna tell the sound man just 2 mic cables to the back.
Yep.
Well, you know.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that. Gary Thornler says most of the pictures on my phone are my amp and my pedal board. There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
At least we're not the only ones, man. Because I was like, and exactly. I'm like scrolling through my phone, like at the shows. I'm like doing this because one of my pedals got bumped, and I'm like, and then finally there it was. Like
when I had individual photos of each pedal,
man,
not even a group shot. High res, close up. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Well, you have like 18 or what, like 30 pedals, something like that.
Right now, there's only 10 on the board, but it's getting doubled this week because I bought a second power supply. So the idea is I can take this pedal board and play everything from bluegrass to metal.
Awesome.
So it's going to have 6 or 7 different styles of dirt, a variety of modulation, delays, things like that. So
yeah, that's
why not? I have a couple of pedals I could throw on. So
Yeah.
there we go. So on that note, do you have anything to add, my good man?
No, I mean, like, I'm good. I really thank everybody for, coming on the show, and it's always a pleasure to speak with you and with all the
Put some
questions.
links down below to Sean's YouTube, Ryatt's website, Facebook page, all that stuff too.
Yeah, thank you, and I would like to thank Dean Guitars, Chris Canella, and Gene, and all the people at Dean, for their amazing guitars, and the Dr. Jekyll cabs. He's been there from the very like in the middle of the whole thing, and his sound to the cabinets, it's all him. I thank him and all the friends. I thank you, Ben, for being support and everything, and family and everybody that supports.
Hey, it's great stuff. I'm glad to do it. I wish you the best on the tour, the album, everything. Great guys. Last time you were on, you had Robert on with you. Great guy as well. I consider you guys friends more than just a band I like. Definitely. That's
definitely.
Sure.
Yes, we definitely. We're like brothers. When we're not playing music, when everything stops at the show and we leave and we're hanging out, it's like
it'd still be a good hang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There you go. Janice sums up. She goes, "You are okay, Sean."
Oh, thank you.
With an exclamation mark. And Todd says the pleasure is theirs. So, and I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. Definitely. If you're new, again, please subscribe. New or returning, please leave a thumbs up. It helps. If you're watching on replay, comment down below what you thought of the show. And until 22 and a half hours from now, we'll be Canucks with Guitars right here on this channel. We'll be announcing the winner of the Mag Slide, Guitar Slide. Check them out, folks. If you don't win, you can still get one. Go to magslide.com, use coupon code Canucks, and I believe save $5. So there we are. So if you just want to hold the line, as I always say, folks, hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you. Karma's real. I'm living the dream. Sean's living the dream. I hope you are too.
Yes.
See y'all, and be good to each other, folks. Cheers.
Take care. Cheers.